Needless to say, this is mentally exhausting.
Range Wilson.
When I was growing up, my brother's nickname for me was Mr. Spock, after the Star Trek character. My favorite activities were almost exclusively left-brained. Math, science, and logic dominated my thinking. My focus was on figuring out how the world worked, rather than on creating something new. Although my right brain functioned normally, as far as I can tell in retrospect, it was absolutely dominated by my genius-level left brain. That domination continued well into my 20s, and in general, it served me well. It got me through Harvard near the top of my class. It got me a promising career as a computer software executive. It even got me a wife who was physically attractive, socially adept, and highly intelligent, a tough combination to find. But gradually, my right brain was asserting itself. My creative side would not be denied. That said, my left brain was not ready to give in without a fight. This battle between my left brain and right brain created a whole bunch of challenges in my personal life, but I'll leave those details for future videos. The ultimate result of this battle is that I spent increasing amounts of time on whole brain activities, which require highly developed analytical skill along with a deep creative impulse. This way, both sides of my brain could feel like they were contributing something useful. One of these activities was screenwriting, which never really crossed my mind until my mid-20s. Until then, I never gave much thought to the fact that somebody has to write the movies that Hollywood is releasing. But the more I learned about screenwriting, the more I realized it was something that I could be good at. However, I had no interest in writing for television or for independent movies. I wanted to write big Hollywood feature films, the most competitive and difficult form of screenwriting. The screenplay for a feature film is a highly structured document. The overall story has to fit into a well-defined genre, and it has to use one of a small handful of traditional three-act plot lines. Within the story, every act, every scene, every line has to follow a specific format and accomplish a specific purpose. There is absolutely no room for fluff. You have to cut and trim and tighten constantly, often deleting your favorite lines or scenes in the process. In other words, to be a successful screenwriter, you need a left brain that is powerful and relentless. Meanwhile, a successful screenplay also has to be highly creative. The story itself, every scene within it, every act, every line has to offer something new. There is absolutely no room for cliché, and you have to avoid the easy answers. The first answer that comes to mind is probably the wrong one because it's probably the one that has been done before. You have to innovate constantly, often deleting your favorite lines or scenes in the process. In other words, to be a successful screenwriter, you need a right brain that is powerful and relentless. This combination is what makes screenwriting so difficult. When you are writing a screenplay, your entire brain is engaged in the process. Needless to say, this is mentally exhausting. Even professional established screenwriters rarely spend more than 2 hours a day actually writing. Any more than that is simply too difficult. You can do it for a while, but then you need substantial downtime afterwards. As far as breaking into Hollywood, you need at least one top-notch, fully original screenplay. And having more than one is a very good idea. Now that surprises many people because most finished movies really aren't all that great. So why can't you just write a mediocre script and break in that way? The problem is the screenplay is just a starting point. For a movie to actually get made and released, dozens of power players have to buy into the final product. Each of these people will have their own viewpoint and their own agenda and will want to change the screenplay in some way. For a script to stand up to that kind of punishment and still make some sense when it's actually released, it has to be absolutely outstanding at the beginning. So that was the challenge I set for myself when my plans for a health club in Colorado Springs fell through. My new plan was to write a top-notch A+ Hollywood feature film screenplay. Tune in next time to find out how I approached the challenge of creating something amazing. Until then, like, comment, share, and or subscribe. My name is Range Wilson, and I'll see you next time.